Welcome to Navigating the Customer Experience. Want to improve your organization's customer service? Looking for insider tips to knock your customer socks off? Then you're in the right place. Here's your host, Yannick Grant.
Welcome to Navigating the Customer Experience. On today's episode, our guest is Maggie Pen. Maggie is the Chief Experience Officer at Interlace Health, the next generation of FormFast, a 30-year-old privately held healthcare IT firm that delivers scalable and cost-effective forms automation and eSignature solutions for healthcare organizations. She brings 22 years of experience in IT to her role and leads 1/3 of Interlaces Health's employees. With a fierce focus on customer satisfaction and retention, Maggie created and built Interlace Health's customer support team and its customer implementation strategy. She built out the company's fully Spanish-speaking team for project implementation and ongoing customer support, and she has managed the company's managed services program to create efficiencies for customers. She believes in a proactive approach to customer service, and it shows with happy and successful customers. Under Maggie's leadership, Interlace Health currently has a 97.4% customer retention rate. Maggie serves as a co-leader for the HIMSS Clinician Burden Reduction Task Force and was recently named to Becca's 2023 Women in Health IT to Know list. So without further delay, sit back, plug your earphones in, and let's jump right into this conversation with Maggie. Welcome, Maggie.
Thank you for having me, and thanks to everyone listening.
Great. So just want to take some time before we jump into the meat of our conversation for you to share with our listeners a little bit about your journey. I know we would have read your bio, but we always like to ask the guests in their own words if you could share a little bit about how you got to where you are today.
Sure. So it has been an interesting journey. When I started college, I wanted to be an accountant, but after my first accounting course, I quickly realized that was not my calling. So the path that really paved my way to where I am today started in the financial industry. During my junior year, working part-time for a local bank in the IT department, processing operations for almost 30 banks throughout the state, working with a Unisys mainframe and green screen terminals for the very first time. And I think I just might have dated myself, but that's okay. So all kidding aside, it was a great learning experience nonetheless. By then, I had switched majors and was now pursuing a degree in computer information systems. And my time at the bank confirmed and validated my interest in technology and how we can use technology to automate processes to increase efficiencies and customer service as we knew it back then. Now that customer experience tends to be a newer word. Back in the day, we were thinking at it as of customer service. I was lucky enough to stay at the bank for almost 7 years until the bank was acquired by an international bank with plans to move their IT operations someplace else. At that point, I knew that it was time to move on and look for something else. So I joined a local healthcare system, also working in their IT department, supporting the business and financial side of the hospital. After about a year, Interlace Health, formerly FormFast, as you said, came into my life when the hospital purchased a forms automation solution. So fast forward a couple of years, I had the opportunity to join the Interlace Health team and have now been here for almost 13 years.
Okay, great. Because I heard everything else you said before.
Okay, good.
All right. So in your bio, it says that you've managed to achieve a 97.4% customer retention rate. Can you tell our listeners maybe 3 key things that you've done consistently that you believe has contributed to that success?
Yeah, so, at Interlace Health, we believe in putting people first, right? So that is our mission. We put people over paperwork, and that is reflected in the solutions that we provide our customers and the solutions that we innovate and so on and so forth. But even in the services, right? I have a belief that software alone doesn't cut it anymore. It just doesn't, right? Anyone can have a similar product or a similar solution as you. It really comes down to the level of service that you provide your customers and the experience that they encounter throughout their entire journey, right? So first and foremost, like I said, we put people first, always there for our customers. We have also built a dedicated team within the services department at Interlace Health always to be there, specialized in what they do, enabled to deliver personalized and attentive support to our customers. We are there with them. We understand their business, we understand their needs, and we're always available, again, to address it, regardless, right, of what the need may be. The COVID pandemic was a huge, I mean, it was terrible, but it was an opportunity for us to be there for our customers and continue providing the service, and not just the service, but continue providing the same level of service to enable them to continue providing the care that they needed to provide, even more so during those difficult times. And then three, we embrace feedback, right? We, from our customers, the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? Like you say, we're always there. We have established a customer success council, right? And it's composed of our most engaged, knowledgeable customers who advises on our products, our solutions. They share the best practices, and quite frankly, they give us candid feedback. It's not always, what we want to hear, but at the end of the day, is what we want to hear, because their feedback and their insights have helped us and make informed decisions as we improve our products and services. And they are pretty much the ones helping us guide our path forward as it comes to our products and services.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much for sharing. Now, in addition to those three things that has contributed to your customer retention rate being at 97.4%, and I know you mentioned a customer council that you say you use to guide you. Can you tell us maybe some of the criteria that you use to select those customers? Like, what type of customer do you look for to ensure that they are the ones that you're joining your council?
Sure. So we offer various solutions. So we try to get customers that are using different types of solutions, right? Because obviously each solution there's different needs that each solution addresses. We started with our internal team, and we asked them, who are your champions? Who are your stellar contacts, stellar customers who know our products, they know it well, they're using it consistently. And that's another criteria. It's also customers that are using our solutions successfully and consistently, but we also try to get customers who weren't using it as much or adopting it as we would like them to get involved, to tell us why. Like, what are your challenges? What are what is your staff or your patients telling you about your solutions or our solutions? In this case, that is keeping you from using it to its fullest potential, right? So it was really customers that were mostly engaged and customers that we had communication with, but not to the extent like the fully engaged ones, if that makes sense. So that we could get both sides, right? Both sides of the house, those that are using it a lot and those that are struggling for various reasons. We wanted to hear from them as well.
All right, perfect. Now, could you also share with our listeners, Maggie, what is the one online resource, tool, website, or app that you absolutely can't live without in your business?
I would say internally, Microsoft Teams, right? Prior to pandemic, Interlace Health, we've always been a remote company. So mostly everyone were remote. I mean, I've been remote my entire almost 13 years here. But since pandemic, I think Microsoft Teams have kept us very well connected, not just internally, but with our customers in the hospital setting. That is what we've seen used the most, is Microsoft Teams. And then internally, to keep track of our customers and our data and our metrics and so on and so forth, everything that we need to know about our customers, we use Salesforce platform.
Perfect. All right. Thank you so much. Now, we'd also like for you to share with us maybe one or two books that you've read. It could be a book that you read a very long time ago or even one that you read recently, but it has had a great impact on you.
Sure. So Speed of Trust by Stephen Covey. I love that book. It's been a while. I probably need to read it again. Your question got me thinking, right, I need to read it again, but it's been a few years since I've read it. And I love how it gives clarity into how trusted leaders do things differently, faster, and at a lower cost, right? I am a true believer that trust drives everything, how it produces better results. So that's one. And then the second one, not so much a book, because he's got plenty of books, but John Maxwell. Anything, everything, John Maxwell. I first heard him, yeah, he's amazing. I first heard him 5 years ago at a global leadership summit. The one thing that stuck the most from that summit was when he was talking about looking for ways to add value to people. He called it be an added value liver, right? Where he was talking about throughout the day going from knowing to doing, from thinking and looking to making sure it's an action. And at the end of the day, ask yourself, did I add value to people today? Right? Those are, again, John Maxwell. He is someone who I constantly see his videos. I've purchased some trainings. I've even purchased trainings here at work for my direct reports as well to see and to encounter and to read and learn from his teachings. So those would be the two that I can think of.
All right. Now, I know as your role as a Chief Experience Officer at Interlace Health, right? You are focused on providing the service to your clients. But I'd like to flip the script a little and put you in the hot box where, you are the customer. So when you think about your own interactions with organizations that you do business with, what are maybe 3 things that are critical for you to actually say, yes, this was a great customer experience?
The sense of trust. I think, like I said, I talked about trust, the book. Yeah, so I would say trust, transparency, and personalization. If I had to put it into just 3 words.
Okay.
Those would be my top 3 that come to mind right away.
So trust, transparency, and
personalization. Yeah, personalize the experience, right? I'm huge on that. Like, just for example, even when I go to restaurants, the first thing I look at when the waiter approaches me is their name badge, because I want to address them by their name, and I always do, right? It's just that personal touch, right? And everything that we do, to me, that's very important.
It's always the little things.
It is. Yes, indeed.
All right. Can you also share with our listeners what's the one thing that's going on in your life right now that you're really excited about? Either something you're working on to develop yourself or your people.
So just with my recent the new CXO role, so I'm excited about it because it's going to allow me to work with the entire organization on the customer journey, from the initial awareness to implementation, support, and beyond. So I'm excited to continue creating a more holistic, customer-centric culture here at Interlace Health while developing and implementing a comprehensive customer experience strategy. And you did the bragging. I was going to brag a little bit about our customer retention rate. So that's also exciting for us here at Interlace Health at the moment, which is that customer retention rate of 97.4%.
All right. Could you also share with us, with your customer support team that you had built out, how many persons are on that team?
We have the team. I mean, if we're thinking about everyone that's doing support, a good 10 people.
All right. So you got 10 people on that support team. And so I just wanted to know if there are some key behaviors or competencies that you look for when you are hiring persons for those roles.
So yes, we need competency. We need people that know that they know, right? That they're intelligent and they know what's expected of them. But I look more at attitude, right? Because you can teach the skills that they need to know in order to support our customers. You'll teach them the product and the solutions and all the intricacies, right, of what we do. But the attitude, right? That is not something we can teach. So I hire for attitude. And so that's a big one for me. I want, and that's just not me, but at Interlace Health, we look for people who are motivated. And you have to, in this remote world, you have to be self-motivated, right? We're no longer in front of other people to help us, right, get through the day. So you need self-motivated individuals, absolutely intelligent, competent people, but people that have the attitude, who are going to be there for our customers, because not every single call is a good call. And, that's life, right? Some calls aren't always the best calls, but we want people who are going to have the attitude and turn a not so good call into a positive call at the end of the day while we're helping our customers resolve their problems.
All right, lovely. Thank you so much for sharing. Now, Maggie, our listeners would have tapped into this episode and they'd like to connect with you online. Where can they find you online?
Yeah, they can find me via LinkedIn as Maggie Pena. And again, if anyone's interested in knowing more about what we do at Interlace Health, feel free to reach out to me via LinkedIn or can also visit our website at interlacehealth.com.
Perfect. Now, before we wrap our episodes up, we always like to ask our guests, do you have a quote or a saying that during times of adversity or challenge, you'll tend to revert to this quote? If for any reason you get derailed or you get off track, this quote kind of helps to get you back on track. Do you have one of those?
I do actually. So there's one that I have that I've used personally since since a very young age. And that is simple. If anyone else can do it, so can I. Right. And that, like I said, that since I can remember going through school, college, you name it, I've always had that in my mind. If anyone else can do it, so can I. And then I have a second one too, as it relates to my professional setting at work and with my team, as we're looking to do something new, whether it's a new process, a new approach to something, anything new that we're talking about doing, I always tell them, let's try it. What's the worst that can happen? So those are the two quotes that you'll hear me say quite a bit, depending on the situation.
Perfect. I love the second
Yeah.
one. Let's do it. What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah, what's the worst that can happen? If it doesn't work, it wasn't working anyway, right?
That's
Or
true.
we weren't doing it. Yeah.
There's one that goes, you miss all of the shots that you never take. That quote kind of
Exactly.
reminds me of that one.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
Perfect.
absolutely.
All right. Thank you, Maggie. Well, Maggie, I just wanted to express our deepest gratitude to you for taking time out of your very busy schedule and hopping on this podcast with us today and sharing about your journey as well as what your organization is doing and just how it is that you've been able to really make customer experience shine in your organization and achieve the, high level of retention rate, how it is that you focus on ensuring that your customers are getting what they need and not necessarily what the organization wants to give them, but you have something in place where you really use the voice of the customer on a regular basis and you can see it manifest into your customer satisfaction and retention scores. So thank you again for joining us today.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Just want to remind our listeners that you can follow us on X at Navigating CX and feel free to join our private Facebook group at Navigating the Customer Experience Community. Until next time, I'm your host, Yannick Grant. We also have a new book available on Amazon, The ABCs of a Fantastic Customer Experience. It's available in ebook and paperback. So if you want to increase revenue in your organization, build a stronger service culture, and create employees or develop employees who are really mastering service delivery in your business, you need to grab a copy of this book. Until next time, I'm your host, Yannick Grant.
Thanks for listening. For more awesome resources to take your customer service game to another level, head over to navigatingthecustomerexperience.com. See you next time.